Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to the Cat Kings NMAT daily series. This is Anisha here. I'm going to be training you guys with small inputs and small shortcuts, techniques, tricks every day for NMAT and getting closer to your dream, which is NMAT Mumbai, and getting a 220 plus in NMAT. So today we're going to be talking about idioms and phrases. This will help you even in the other exams like your SNAP, CMAT, and all of them, where you have these questions based on idioms and phrases coming as a part of reading comprehension or direct questions as well, right? So stay tuned to this and keep making notes through every day's NMAT daily series. Okay, let's understand some important techniques and tricks to remember idioms and phrases. First, always understand the context, not just the meaning, because there are sometimes sentences which can have multiple meanings, but it depends on the situation where it is being used in the example or the sentence. So always understand the context, okay, not just the meaning when it is in the form of a passage. Second, always prepare a list. What do you mean by preparing a list is we don't want to keep rattamaruing it. Okay, whenever you're reading somewhere, you read an article, you read some novel, you read a story where you found a phrase or an idiom which has been come up, which is there, which is different. You've not heard of it. So keep a notebook where you write this down and then write the meaning so that you will remember it further ahead when you read it in your life. Okay, so keep preparing a list on a daily basis while you are reading. For that, you should be reading, and that's definitely going to be helpful for you. So start reading the newspapers, the speaking tree section. You have Eon essays, Guardian essays. These will help you in your reading speed if you are not someone who's an avid reader already. Third thing, like I said, we don't want to keep cramming, right? So learn them in groups. You could probably bundle up 10 to 20 idioms and phrases which have a relevant story, something which you can make out of it as well. So learn them in groups together. The next is visual correlation. Try to get a visual image made out of the phrase or some element, some keywords from the entire phrase. That will help you to remember the meaning of the same. Next one is to try and explore the origin. Like, where did this come from? What was the story behind it? When this was originated. So these are some tricks which will help you to remember the idioms and phrases. Okay. Now let's also try to understand, either the origin or if not anything, like I said, make your own stories, something which will help you to remember it. Okay. So that could be not literally the meaning of the phrase, but something which will help you to understand. All right, now let's have a look at a couple of examples, some important phrases which have come in various exams. Okay, and we'll try and use some of these tricks for them. All right, now the first one, which is called as to bury the hatchet. I'm sure you guys have heard of this, right? It means to make peace. Now, where did this come from? The origin of it was in the 16th century. People, had those war situations and all of them, and there, this to show that yes, we are ready to give up and we are ready to unite together. There was a ceremony done in which the weapons were actually buried so that they never see the day of light again, right? So that was the whole exercise of burying the weapons. From that origin comes the phrase which is to bury the hatchet. That means to make peace. जो भी है उसको, जो भी differences है and everything, bury it down, right? So that is something that's going to be helpful to relate and understand. The next one is to catch a tartar, okay, which means to find something very unpleasant or formidable than expected. Okay, it can be different people. You met a person who's very irritating, who's very annoying, or you turn it up into a situation, right? So if I have to, get into the literal meaning of this tartar, if you know what is tartar, people would have read this somewhere or the other or heard of it. When you have that yellow layer getting up onto your teeth, that's called a starter. It's like so yucky, so unpleasant, right? So that is what it means to catch a tartar, like you feel irritated once that happens, right? Another thing, if it's not directly related, like I said, to remember, you can make your own stories. You've seen tar roads being developed. they are like वो डांबर डालते हैं तो एकदम ऐसा irritating, sticky, it smells bad, it's so unpleasant, right? That you can imagine, like, to catch a tartar, मतलब you got stuck in that road or that particular situation when it is being made. All right. The next one is crack up. Crack up means to some have an emotional breakdown. Now, what does crack mean? Crack means to break something, like wall mein crack aa gaya or glass mein crack aa gaya, right? Which means it's breaking up, right? So an emotional breakdown. Now, this can be happy, this can be sad. It does not always have to mean that crack up means ki someone is only crying, right? That's not correct. Crack up can also refer to someone to, have a huge non-stop laugh. It's basically to mean to lose control of things. All right. So that is what you mean by crack up. The next one is drawback. I think this is very common. We have used it multiple times, but drawback can be used in different contexts. So understand the context. In usually in the sentences, in passages, drawback comes with, to recall or to take back. You had done some activity and you're taking it back. So if I have to visually understand this, drawback can be I drew something and then I take it back, right? So you're going back on your drawing. That is recoil. The next one is to fight tooth and nail, which means to fight in a very determined way. When you're having that fight, or if you see Tom and Jerry, if you've seen that cartoon, they are fighting. They show that, like the dog comes in between of the fight, and he's like staring at you in your face, right? And shows that, like long teeth out there. It's like fight tooth and nail, but very determined, very fiercely. I want to fight this, come what may, right? For all of you guys who are watching the video, I'm sure you guys are preparing for some of these exams. So in your situation, this is like a perfect phrase which says to fight tooth and nail to get your dream college, right? So that's an example where you can use this statement. In fact, what I would suggest is all of you guys can pick up any one of these phrases and make a sentence out of it and put it into the comment section. Let's start using these phrases, using these idioms in our day-to-day life so that we can remember that. So put up into the comments some examples, some sentences which you can, and if there are some phrases which you have never been able to understand, you're finding it difficult, put them down as well. Also, we'll try a fun way to remember them. Okay, let's move to the next example is get at someone. To get at someone is like to criticize. I mean, I'm sure you get so many times when your boss, you hate them because they're like getting at you. That's the phrase you use, right? Like he's getting on to me, which means he's criticizing too much, he's irritating you too much, right? So get at someone is to criticize. Then to give a false coloring, मतलब झूठ बोल रहा है यार, वो कुछ गलत दिखा रहे हैं, कुछ कुछ अलग है. So false coloring is to misinterpret. All right. Then next one is fan the flames, is to make a bad situation even worse. I'm sure you've heard of this. मतलब वो बोलते हैं ना, आग में घी डालना, आग में चिंगारी डालना. That kind of an example. Fan the flame, मतलब कुछ बुरा हो रहा है उसमें और बुरा करो, right? So this is an example which you can visualize with all the Hindi drama series. You'll see that they keep doing this, fan the flames, right? So these are some interesting idioms and phrases. And the last one for today is put a sock in it. Have you heard of this? No. So it's a very interesting one कि जब कोई बहुत बोल रहा है, कुछ बहुत बोले जा रहा है और आपको चुप कराना है, आप कैसे मुंह बंद कर देते हो, right? That you put a sock in it. It's like telling everybody shut up, be quiet. All right, so put a sock in it is a nice way to say request to be quiet, just shut up. All right, so these are some important and interesting idioms and phrases which we have covered up today. I hope this will be helpful for you guys for NMAT and all the other entrance exams as well also. Let's start using them. Drop in your comments. I would love to see more and more interaction with you guys and make it helpful. The NMAT daily ka maza tabhi aayega when you guys start commenting, start asking questions, and we keep learning through it, and there's a benefit out of it. All right, so do drop in your comments and your questions for the same as well. Also, for people who really want to crack NMAT, you guys can get on board with the NMAT online turbo course, where you have live classes, video lectures, mock tests, ebooks, your entire interview preparation. We have this interesting 3 volumes of idioms and phrases for you guys to learn. And that's your list made out of all the important essays and articles and reading them up. So that will be helpful for you guys as well. We have video lectures all done module wise. There's quants, a lot of videos in quants, entire module section wise. There's verbal section, again module wise videos done, data interpretation, logical reasoning for all the 4 sections. And interestingly, we've also solved your NMAT official guide so that you find recorded lectures of the same and understand about NMAT per se, right? So get on board. Let's get started with your preparation. And in fact, people who are going to be joining the NMAT course tonight, we are having the NMAT Thursday where you're going to be talking about verbal reasoning. So don't skip any of my live NMAT Thursday sessions, and let's get it up. All right. Wish you guys all the best. Stay tuned. Do subscribe to the channel, like, share, and comment if the videos have been helpful for you. All the best. Keep doing really well.